There, a motorcycle rider hit and killed a stranded driver along I-10, but we've also learned that rider was not the only one to hit him. The motorcyclist is at University Hospital right now, which is where we find Charlie Cooper. And Charlie, how did this all start?
Good morning, Sarah. Well, police tell us this could have happened to anyone because the victim here didn't do anything out of the ordinary. They say around 11:45 last night, he was driving on I-10 by Callahan and his white pickup stopped working. So he simply got out of his car just to check things out to see what was wrong with his vehicle. But at the same time, a motorcyclist was also coming down the road and slammed into that man and killed him immediately. Unfortunately, that victim was again killed immediately and run over by several other vehicles, as though that didn't make matters worse. The guy who was on the motorcycle is actually here at University Hospital recovering from non-life-threatening injuries, and traffic investigators were out there last night just to figure out if any other factors went into this accident and played into this man hitting this man and killing him. Back to you.
Thank you, Charlie.